Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our real estate show. It is a pleasure to have everybody with us here today. This is turning into a real production. I have a producer, I have a makeup artist. Apparently, I'm hideous. It took my makeup artist quite a while to get me prepped and ready for viewing public. I didn't realize it was so much work to get me ready. But I want to thank my makeup artist, I want to thank my producer, and I want to thank everybody, including my marketing department, for making this show possible for you, ladies and gentlemen, so that you may learn and understand real estate matters much more clearly, much more specifically, and to understand the benefits of having a real estate license and representing others in the real estate field. This show is about changing your lifestyle, ladies and gentlemen. It's about educating you in real estate, and it's about showing you success. I'm looking forward to some of my guest speakers in the weeks to come. This show will be live every Monday at 6 p.m., and it will be across many platforms. We are going to be across Facebook, YouTube, uh, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, just to name a few. So this will be a live show broadcasting through everything, so that it's exposed to more people in the public arena. So I'm looking forward to this show every Monday at 6 p.m. And I'm looking forward to educating everyone. Also, looking forward to my guest speakers. I have several real estate agents that are superstars today, ladies and gentlemen, and they came out of my classroom, right where you will be sitting maybe one day, to where they are now. And this is only a year or two for most of them, and they're extremely successful. Agents like, and I love when she calls herself Agent Paris, Paris Long, Agent Paris, very successful agent. Justin Morrison, very successful agent. Uh, Andy, some of my other real estate agents will also be coming on here, showing that they have went from the real estate class to a successful real estate business. So very, very good. I'm looking forward to dinging them. Andy Perez and Marcos Vargas, just to name a few. And also with my affiliate, the CE Shop, I'm looking forward to having Andrea come on and speak to us about how you can get a real estate license in almost any state through this platform. So we've opened it up to a situation where we're trying to bring the real estate world to you. We've been very lucky here in Pennsylvania. We have a governor, Governor Tom Wolf, that allowed the Real Estate Commission and the schools to start a live streaming platform. So not all states have allowed this live streaming platform. And I'm hoping that Arillo is seeing the success of this live stream program and the live stream classes, and will continue to allow live streaming in the future as we go along. So, uh, right now, thanks to Governor Wolf, we offer a live streaming class to our students where you can understand the 75-hour pre-licensing from the comforts of your own home, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to drive to the school. You don't have to fight traffic. You don't have to worry about parking. You don't have to worry about the weather. You don't have to worry about a flat tire. And so the live streaming, and if you read my reviews, ladies and gentlemen, you will see that my students absolutely love the platform that I put together for this live streaming class. Our next class starts on the 27th. And so I know the clock always ticks down, but you'll see my calendar, my schedule. I'll be happy to send it to you with each class every 6 weeks, because this will be a 6 week class. In the state of Pennsylvania, you are required to take a 75-hour class to be allowed to take this state exam. Once you take this 75-hour class, I have to send Harrisburg your attendance sheet saying that you were in my class for 75 hours and your transcripts. You will take 2 exams in the class that preps you for the state exam. Once you've done this, you are now qualified to take the state exam. But not everybody can just schedule a state exam and pass the real estate exam without the transcripts, without the 75-hour state requirement. So in Pennsylvania, It is a 75-hour class required to get a real estate license. My school, online real estate school inc.com, online real estate school incorporated.com, is a licensed and registered facility with the state and the real estate commission. My school offers two classes, ladies and gentlemen. I have a morning class, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and that would be for 6 weeks. That would give you your state requirement of 75 hours. And I have an evening class, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as well, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. That too is for 6 weeks. So I offer a morning class, 9 to 1, an evening class, 6 to 10. It is a live streaming platform, so you get to talk to me, ask me questions, interact just as if you were sitting in the classroom. There's really no difference other than you're talking to me through a computer monitor rather than in person. But again, as I said, please read my reviews. You will see that the students absolutely love this platform. In my school, my classes are $399, which includes an ebook. However, none of the students are very happy with the ebook. They all prefer the manual so that they can highlight and take notes. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you an idea of what the manual kind of looks like. It is a very thick book. I call it the Ernest Hemingway novel. And this book will be mailed out to you, and it will be an additional $30 to mail out the book. So if you want the manual mailed to you, instead of it being $3.99 for the class, it would be another $30. It would be $4.29. Even at $4.29, ladies and gentlemen, I am still the least expensive real estate school in the state of Pennsylvania for a live streaming platform. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. $429. I'll bet you, if you're a gambler, that you've taken this money to the casino and lost $400 one time at the casino with nothing to show for it. This is an investment in yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Invest this $429 in yourself. Not only will you get the knowledge of real estate, but you will also receive a license by the state to be known as a licensed professional and to represent others and to charge an income, to charge for your services because you are now licensed by the state. So this $429 investment is probably the best investment, is going to give you your golden ticket. That's what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen, that golden ticket. Once you have this golden ticket, you have a ticket to ride. You should never be broke. You should never be unemployed again. You have a license, a ticket to make money. Make money. The only reason you will not make any money with this golden ticket is because you can't get off the sofa. You can't motivate yourself. You can't do anything. Just because you have the knowledge and the education without the will, you're not going to make any money. So, with this golden ticket, ladies and gentlemen, you have the knowledge, you have the experience, you have the license to get started. And in my school, I'm going to teach you how to get started with your real estate business. So, what I'm going to teach you in my school is not only am I going to do like every other school does and teach you how to pass the exam, because that's where most schools stop. That's what they were hired to do, to prep you for an exam. What I'm going to do is not only prep you for the exam, but I'm also going to teach you how to run a real estate business. I'm going to teach you how to market your business. I'm going to teach you what to work with, who to work with, starting with first time buyers. We'll talk about that more in my school. And I'm going to talk to you about how to attract those first time buyers. First time buyers don't care that you're a brand new real estate agent, ladies and gentlemen. They don't care that you've been licensed a day, a week, a month, a year. They're going to treat you like you've been in business for 30 years because they're first time buyers. And when you start reaching out to these first time buyers, because they don't know, they know what they need for a new apartment. They need first, last, and a month security for a new apartment. That they know. But did they know that for that first, last, and a month security, they could buy a house, a 3-bedroom home with a yard, maybe a garage, for the same, almost the same price, $3,500 to be exact? That's what that buyer is going to need to buy a $100,000 property with an FHA mortgage. But they don't know this until you, the real estate agent, explain it to them. Most schools would not tell you after you pass the exam, what you should do, how you should start. But my school, ladies and gentlemen, not only am I going to teach you how to pass the real estate exam, I'm going to teach you how to run a real estate business. I'm going to teach you how to negotiate with brokers. I'm going to teach you how to negotiate commission. I'm going to teach you what avenues. What do you want to work with? The buyers, the sellers, the investors. We'll talk about all these things in my class. So in my class, not only am I going to teach you how to pass an exam, I'm going to teach you how to run a real estate business. I'm also going to teach you how to invest in property. I've been working this business, this industry since the 1980s, ladies and gentlemen. And in the 1980s, interest rates were 18 to 22%. That was the economy. That's the world that we lived in back then, where interest rates are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7% today. Interest rates were 18 to 22% for a mortgage buyer back then. And not everybody could afford a mortgage at 18 to 22%. So back then we had to have creative financing, owner financing, second notes, third notes, and so forth. Because of my history of 30 years of experience, I'm going to teach you how to invest in property legally and ethically, because that's what this class is all about, compliance of federal, state, and local law. What I'm going to teach you is how to invest in creative financing and be prepared, because our economy is going to be changing again, ladies and gentlemen. Interest rates will be climbing, taxes will be going up. And as long as you take my class, you will be prepared for these interest rate hikes. It won't affect your business, where other agents will not know how to survive when the interest rates go up. So that's another benefit that I try to offer my students when they come to my class. I'll teach you how to invest in property, owner financing, purchase money mortgage, deed in trust, deed of trust. You become the bank. You receive the installment payments, residual income. One of the first things I like to teach my students when we start with an investment is residual income, having money coming in your mailbox or in your bank account every month is how you become rich in this business, having that residual income. And I'm going to teach you how to create residual income. One of the other things that I like to teach you when we talk about investment is by having no mortgage or no rent payment every month. You are wealthier and healthier the minute you don't have a rent payment or a mortgage payment each and every month. And that's one of the first things I like to teach when we talk about investment is residual income and not having any monthly payments for mortgage or rent. One of the first investments I'll teach you how to buy is a duplex, where you live in one of the units rent free, and the other unit, the tenant pays the entire mortgage. And we'll talk about FHA mortgages where you have to live in the property for 3 years. Again, everything would be compliant. And then after the 3 years where you lived rent free, now you got two residual incomes from two different units coming in like clockwork. So again, I'm going to teach you all these programs of how to buy that duplex with an FHA mortgage, how to have no rent payment and no mortgage payment each and every month, how to create residual income. All that is all part of the $429 that I'm going to teach you. So quickly recap, I'm going to teach you how to pass the real estate exam. I'm going to teach you how to run a real estate business as a licensed real estate professional. I'm going to teach you how to invest in property legally and ethically. And I'm also going to teach you the easy way of doing math in my class. Two things that my students absolutely hate: testing and math. But that's a buildup that's already designed flaw in their system. And so they already despise math and they already despise testing. But I'm going to teach you the easy way of doing math through the three variables. And once I teach you how easy math will be very easy for you to do. And math is easy. It's just that you have to understand the three variables. And so I'll teach you the easy way of doing math in my class. And one of the last things that I teach in my class, which has given me the highest pass-fail ratio of any school in Pennsylvania, is the long-term memory techniques, ladies and gentlemen. We have short-term memory techniques. We have long-term memory techniques. And in my class, I'm going to show you the brain and how the brain works. We have two hemispheres of the brain, ladies and gentlemen, the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. And if you're right-handed, we use the left hemisphere of our brain for logic, for reasoning, for understanding, for detection, to put things together. But the other side of that brain is used for our creativity, art, music, poems, and so forth. Uh, we don't really use the other hemisphere of our brain as much as we should, especially when our children are drugged up in school so that they may never use the other hemisphere of the brain. It's already at a disadvantage. So understand that I'm going to be teaching in my class how the brain works. How a woman's brain works. A woman uses the frontal lobe of her brain. That's why women are much more sensitive to smell, to taste, to feelings, where the man uses the back part of his brain. The reason that I incorporate the brain into the class is because we're going to deal with psychology in this business. We're going to have to understand how our clients are thinking in this business so that we can understand and preempt any questions that might be coming our way. But what I like to teach in my class is the long-term memory technique. We rely on short-term memory. You ever read a book, ladies and gentlemen, and after you're done reading it, you have to read it again because you don't know what you just read? So you just read it and it's done. And the reason that it's done in your brain is because you read silently. You read to yourself. And when you read silently, it only goes to the short term memory of your brain. And short term is going to escape us, ladies and gentlemen. It will last an hour, a week, maybe a couple weeks. And then once it's gone, it's gone. There's no way to retrieve it out of the short term memory. But when I teach you to use the other hemisphere of the brain, your long-term memory, then you will actually pass the exam with great ease. This is one of the reasons that I have the highest pass-fail ratio. If you look at my reviews, most of my reviews of students who have already passed the state exam. And I always like to talk to them and reply to them after they pass the real estate exam so that future students can see. And I'm looking forward to having some of my students be guest speakers on this show in the next couple of Mondays. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, in my school, I'm going to teach you how to pass the state exam. I'm going to teach you how to run a real estate business. I'm going to teach you how to invest in property. I'm going to teach you the easy way of doing math. And I'm going to teach you the three variables of memory techniques, long term memory techniques. This way, here, it'll make it very easy for you to pass the exam because of these techniques that we put in the class. So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is an investment. No other school is going to be offering all of this to you in a 75-hour period, ladies and gentlemen. I've gotten everything down to a nice little streamline that we can go through this manual. And the reason that you can't do these classes online sometimes is because of the language. Every profession has their own language, ladies and gentlemen. Lawyers have their own internal language. Doctors have their own internal languages. Accountants have their own internal languages. And we in the real estate business have our internal language. Assessments, ad valorem, eminent domain, condemnation, dedication. All these words have certain meanings. And if you don't understand these words, it'll be hard to read a book and learn how to pass the exam because you're not learning the new language. What I like to do is put all this stuff in a plain language format in the classroom so it makes it very easy. I break everything down to a very simple format so it makes it very easy for you to remember these words when we take the exam. Plus, my school is one of the only schools that gives you homework assignments. These homework assignments are much appreciated by the students because it really does help solidify the class into their brain when we have these homework assignments. And I'm one of the few schools that do this, and the students appreciate the homework assignments because of the benefits that they receive from these small homework assignments that I give you. So I just wanted to start off, as I do with every show, talking about what I am offering you as a benefit for 429 to come into my school to get a real estate license and to get a mass amount of real estate knowledge. Now, some facts about real estate in Pennsylvania. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, the Pennsylvania market is on fire. Supply and demand. We'll talk about supply and demand in my class. Right now, we have too much demand. Too many people want to buy properties here in Pennsylvania, and we don't have enough supply. So right now we have bidding wars. We have multiple offers on property. We got 5 buyers for every property on the market right now. And if we had more good real estate agents, we'll talk about the 80-20 agent. We had more good real estate agents producing more supply, then this market would be a whole lot easier. But because we have so many buyers, an exodus, ladies and gentlemen, coming out of New York and New Jersey, they're leaving in groves out of those states and they're going to Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Florida. These are 3 states that are absolutely on fire right now. They handled the COVID-19 situation differently, and we had governors that did things a little bit different in our state. So Pennsylvania is on fire. We have a lot of buyers leaving other states to come to Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Florida. Let's take the other coast, the West Coast. California, mass exodus out of California. As a matter of fact, they're trying to repopulate California. But California, they're leaving, and Arizona and Texas are on fire. So if you understand the real estate market and you understand supply and demand and you understand new construction, you will understand how to make a ton of money in the real estate business and how to represent others. And of course, we can't do all this in an hour show, but if we can do it in a 75-hour class. I'll tell you the crystal ball. I'll tell you what's going to be happening in the future. And I'll show you as a real estate agent what resources are available so you know what development is going to be coming down the pike 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now. Having this kind of knowledge and knowing what resources to use to find out what's going to be happening 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now, what's going to be developed, what's not going to be developed, is going to give you great insight for your investment world, which you probably wouldn't have without these information and these resources that I'll be giving you in my class. So right now, the Pennsylvania market is absolutely on fire. We have way more demand than we have supply, and you're going to learn about supply and demand and economic factor in our classroom so that you understand supply and demand much better. You're going to need to know it for the exam. So you will absolutely learn it in detail in my class. So you're going to understand now. Also, ladies and gentlemen, your real estate license will allow you to do both residential and commercial sales. So you don't need a separate license. Your real estate license that you will be achieving will allow you to do residential and commercial. And there's other avenues like a developer, a land acquisition. And I'm also going to show you, ladies and gentlemen, that you don't have to go working for a broker with your real estate license. Fortune 500 companies are always looking for licensed real estate professional. Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, McDonald's, Burger King. They are all in the real estate business, ladies and gentlemen. So they all have their own real estate departments. And with that real estate license, you can end up with a salary position with benefits if you so choose. You don't have to go for just the money. Me, I like the money. I like lots of money. So that's one thing that I like to do. I'm in the real estate market with a broker, and we'll talk about it. I keep 100% of my commission. We'll talk about that in my class. How much commission should you be giving to the broker? Now, not everybody would want to work for 100% commission. It's not for everybody. Not everybody's about the money. Some of you might like the broker. Some of you might like the ambiance of the office. So each one of you will have a different reason for working with a different broker. That's fine. There's no one answer fits all. But I'm going to teach you how to negotiate with each one so that you get a better deal and you're not taken advantage of because you're new in the business. So remember that your real estate license will allow you to do residential and commercial. You don't need a separate license for these things. Also, I'm going to teach you many things about the real estate business that you will need to know to make you a better representative. Because one of the first things that you're going to be doing, ladies and gentlemen, is representing others. Your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your son, or your daughter all might be one of your first clients. And we'll talk about the difference between client and customer in this business. So what I'm going to do with each one of these shows is not only am I going to talk about the real estate business, not only am I going to talk about the school, but I'm going to give you some real estate knowledge, facts that you need to know that I'll be teaching you in the school, and I'll be giving that to you in the show. So in the next couple minutes, within the next 5 minutes, we'll get into some real estate knowledge, things that you didn't know that you will be learning for the very first time. So again, keep in mind, depending on the market, not everybody would want to get a New Jersey license or a New York license right now. Wild, wild west out there in New Jersey. And when I say wild, wild west, I mean that the templates, the contracts are not templated like they are here in Pennsylvania. So you can be working with many different types of contracts in New Jersey, which makes it hard for you, the real estate agent. And in certain parts of New Jersey, the lawyers handle the work, you, the real estate agent, don't. And that presents other problems that we'll discuss in our classroom. So I like Pennsylvania. And I like Pennsylvania real estate agents because we actually learn the contract. When I'm not teaching a pre-licensed class to help you get a real estate license, I'm teaching real estate agents the contract. And the contract is 23 chapters, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, 32 chapters in the agreement of sale, 23 chapters in our book, 32 chapters or sections of the agreement of sale in Pennsylvania. And I teach all these to real estate agents. So when I'm not teaching pre-license, I'm also teaching contract law. So I enjoy teaching, and I have a little bit of a gift for it. And as you can see, I have a little bit of gift for gab. I've been talking to you for about 30 minutes now, and not once did you hear me say, ooh, pause. At least not that I'm aware of. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but not, at least I'm not aware of it. So again, as I said, I'm going to teach you bullet points, templates. All right, I don't like to read anything when I'm live streaming. Doesn't look natural. So everything that I'm saying is live. And that's another thing that I like about the live streaming. It's all on point. None of this is rehearsed. None of this is prepped. You know, like some of these shows, they've already pre-recorded the show, cut and spliced it, and then they send out the final print. Not me, ladies and gentlemen. This is live streaming. And the way I like it, right off the cuff, talk to you about today's events. We'll be adding chat in our next class so that you can leave comments. Right now, you can leave your comments in Google or Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or Twitter, wherever you are, and I'll look for your questions and answer any questions that you might have. Again, I want to remind you that my school is onlinerealestateschool.inc.com. You can go to my site and you can, oh, see that? I just did the, see that? I caught myself there. I did it, You can go to my site, sign up for the class, look at my reviews, and continue learning because there's other things on my website that you can go to. So that's Online Real Estate School Inc. INC. OnlineRealEstateSchoolInc.com. Please see my testimonial page. Read the reviews. See what other students have been saying about it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to get to the part of this show that everybody really tunes in for, the knowledge, the education. And the question I asked on Monday, I'll ask again, but I'll throw in some other questions as well. If you buy a property here in Pennsylvania and you get a 30-year mortgage on that property, do you own that property day one, ladies and gentlemen, or do you own that property 30 years later when you make your final payment? The answer to that question, ladies and gentlemen, here in Pennsylvania is day one. I don't want you to get the deed and the mortgage confused. They're two separate instruments. In Pennsylvania, we are known as a lien theory state. So the bank only has a lien against the property. But other properties, other states like Georgia and Texas, these would be known as title theory states. In those states, you don't own the property until 30 years later when you make your final payment. But in Pennsylvania, your buyer, since you're going to be real estate agents, your buyer gets the deed to that property, or you, who might be buying a property, you get the deed to the property day one. So what? You have a loan, a 30-year mortgage against the property. Do not get the mortgage and the deed mixed up. The deed, the deed, the deed. One of the first things I teach my students on day one. The deed, the deed, the deed. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the deed, but remember, you own that property day one in Pennsylvania. The bank only has a lien. The bank's name is not on the deed. Their name is not on that property. Only your name, or you and your partner's name, will be on that deed. Now, let's talk about the deed. Let's know the difference between a deed and title. The deed is the written instrument, ladies and gentlemen. We sell property here in Pennsylvania by deed. The deed is the written instrument. We don't sell property by title. We sell cars by title, but we don't sell property by title. We sell property by deed. And when you go to the settlement table, you are receiving the deed, not the title. Title in this business is a process, ladies and gentlemen. Title search, title report, title insurance. So title is a process of making sure that the deed is good and marketable. We'll talk about the word marketable. Very few real estate agents understand the word marketable. So we want to make sure that the deed is good and marketable. Our contract calls for a good and marketable deed to be delivered to the buyer from the seller. So we have to understand the deed has to be good and marketable. So we'll talk about the process. So through title, we're going to order a title report, a title search, title insurance. All these things go back to make sure that the deed is good and marketable. So we'll talk about the difference between deed and title. We'll talk about the difference between a deed and a mortgage. Don't get those two mixed up. One's a loan, one you own the property. And we're going to talk about, once you understand deed in trust, deed of trust, then we'll talk about how you can start investing in property and selling these properties. We'll talk about auctions, foreclosure auctions, tax sale auctions in the school, in our class. We'll go into great detail because in Philadelphia, Scranton, and Pittsburgh, the requirements are different for auctions than they are in the counties. So Bucks County, Montgomery County, Delaware County, auctions are completely different there compared to Philadelphia, Scranton, and Pittsburgh. So you have to know the caveats of investing in property and what you're buying at these auctions. Tax sale auctions, you're not buying property. You're buying tax certificates. And foreclosed auctions, you are buying property. But in Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and Scranton, they might still have liens against them that do not get wiped out at these auctions. So you need to know these things. When we go into the class, I'll discuss these things with you. So these are some facts about real estate. Also, there are other things that you might need to know. Like the deed is only signed by the seller, ladies and gentlemen. The buyers do not sign the deed. So when we talk about unilateral and bilateral contracts, unilateral means one party signs it, not one person, one party. Husband and wife are selling the property, then that's one party, the husband and the wife. The husband and wife will sign the deed, but the buyer does not sign the deed. So in Pennsylvania, and this would be a test question, the deed is known as a unilateral contract. We'll talk about other unilateral contracts like rent to buy, lease to purchase, first right of refusal. These are great investment instruments if you know how to use them properly. And we will absolutely talk about rent to buy, lease to purchase, the two caveats between them both, and first right of refusal. We'll talk about that a lot. That is a great investment cycle where you can lock up properties 1, 2, 3 years ahead of time with these unilateral contracts: rent to buy, lease to purchase, first right of refusal. And then, of course, the deed is a unilateral contract. Only the seller signs the deed. The buyer doesn't sign the deed. So you are already learning about real estate here in Pennsylvania with just this 1 hour class, this 1 hour show that we do. And I'll make sure that every show that we do, that I do give you a lot of real estate information in it. Let's talk about title, general warranty deed, special warranty deed, bargain and sale deed, quit claim deed. The two are the top ones, the general warranty and the special warranty. Warranty means title insurance. We have title insurance, warranty deed. So the general warranty deed is one of the first ones and the only ones that we really want, especially when we're representing buyers. A special warranty deed is just as good as a general warranty deed, but this will involve an estate property where the owners probably have already passed and a trustor or trustee, an executor or executors is selling the property. So we will be getting a special warranty deed in that situation. A bargain and sale deed property. This is what you get when you buy property at auction. So you need to know what kind of title or deed you're going to be getting with those properties. That'll be known as bargain and sale deed. And then the quit claim deed. This is what you get when you just got suckered out of your money, ladies and gentlemen, because a quit claim deed does not transfer ownership. It transfers an interest. And we need to know what interest is being transferred, if any interest at all is being transferred. So we'll talk about your general warranty deed, your special warranty deed, your bargain and sale deed, and your quit claim deed in my class. so you understand which ones we want, which ones we don't want, and which ones we will receive for an intermediate period of time. So again, some of the things that you're going to learn in my class. We're going to talk a difference about mortgages and what those mortgage. Everybody says I have a mortgage on my property. Well, what they don't know is the mortgage is the legal right for the bank to take back the property. You're going to get a mortgage and a note when you buy a property. You need to know the difference between the mortgage and the note. Once again, the mortgage is the legal document that gives the bank the right to foreclose on the property if you don't make your payments. So the note, which is also known as a promissory note, is your promise to make your payments for the next 30 years. What we should say is we have a note on our property, not a mortgage. Because when you say I have a mortgage on my property, what you're saying is I gave the bank the right to take my property back. So you'll get used to saying other things, but you won't know this language, ladies and gentlemen, until you come to my class and understand this language and see how I'm already putting it in a very plain, simple way for you to understand. And that's the way I break down this class so that you can understand all these things in my class and have a very good understanding so that you may take this plain language learning that I gave you and spread it to your clients, your loved ones, and your ability to do your business. I'm looking forward to my guest speakers in the next couple of weeks coming in here and talking about what they've done right out of real estate class, right out of school, and how they got started and what struggles they did and where they are today. Because most of all these guest speakers that I'm going to have, ladies and gentlemen, are only 1 and 2 years in the real estate business themselves. All right, they don't even have the 3 years. Most companies take 3 years to get established. They don't even have that, and yet they are already wildly successful. You see the cars they're driving around in. So I'm looking forward to having them motivate you so you can see how quickly you can go from my class into the real estate business and be successful by their examples. And so I'm looking forward to having some guest speakers come: Andy Perez, Justin Morrison, Paris Long, Marcos Vargas, Andrea from the CE class. I'm looking forward to having them guest speakers on my show, which will be airing again every Monday at 6 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. So if you know anybody who's interested in real estate, like to get some pointers about real estate, like to know what avenue to take to get their real estate license, may I suggest that you recommend this free show to them, and we will be getting the word out as well. So, this gives you a little bit of knowledge about what you're going to be learning in my class. We'll also talk about the forms that you're going to be using. We're going to talk about a contract. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about that right now. There's no such thing as a no money down deal. There's no such thing, not in Pennsylvania. No such thing, and there's no such thing as a same day flip, ladies and gentlemen. That doesn't exist. That is crap. And when you got programs out there or institutions that are trying to sell you these things, they do this on a basis of deception, where they call themselves schooling or the schooling of or a special education, but they don't have license. They're not a licensed facility. So when they call themselves a schooling, uh, technique schooling, I don't want to give out any schools that I actually know of, but when they call themselves schooling, what they're doing is schooling you out of your money because they're not a licensed facility. This is why they can't call themselves a school, because they're not licensed by the state to be a school. So right there, you should know there's a little deception going on right there by the name of the institution. So let's talk about why there are no money down deals. In Pennsylvania, you need three things on a contract. You need signatures, you need date, and you need consideration. Consideration. You ever see a property in Pennsylvania sell for $1, ladies and gentlemen? That $1 made it a legal contract in Pennsylvania. Without consideration and no money down deal, we don't have the three ingredients that we need to have a legal contract in Pennsylvania. Now, we can get by with maybe a no money down deal, probably, but no broker's going to recommend that you do it because, again, we want to comply. We want to be compliant. We want to represent our client. So we need date, signature, and consideration. Minus the consideration, you're not charging. There's no consideration in it, that we don't have a legal contract. So there really cannot be a no money down deal. unless there's some kind of other consideration. So please understand what we can legally and not legally do. Let's talk about the same day flip. Buy a property through an assignment deal and not represent anybody, so to speak, and take $5,000 by bringing that buyer and the seller together. Ladies and gentlemen, that's completely illegal in the state of Pennsylvania, because what you are doing is you are practicing real estate without a license. And you might not think that you're representing somebody, but I tell you right now, either the buyer or the seller who's ever giving you that money is expecting something in return, some kind of representation. So when you try to do these assignment deals without a real estate license, these are illegal, ladies and gentlemen. It is a criminal offense in Pennsylvania to practice real estate without a license. Do you think the schooling will tell you about that? No. What they're trying to do is get you to buy programs, tapes, recordings, books, whatever it is that they're selling. Again, as I said, what I'm selling is a state license, knowledge and education, so that you can represent others. That's what you get from my class. You don't just get a bunch of techniques to go out and try and see if they can work. Not this class. So this is a school that is licensed by the state. And now you can start seeing, not only am I going to teach you how to pass the exam and run a real estate business, I'm also already teaching you some of the things that you're going to learn in this school so that you understand how to represent others and make good money at it as well, ladies and gentlemen. So, with that being said, let's talk about some of the money that we're going to be making in this business. And let me pull up the screen so I can actually see here. Now, what we're going to be doing here is I want you to see some of the money that we're going to be making in this business. It doesn't matter if you are selling land, developers, there we go, land, ladies and gentlemen, working with a developer, selling single family properties, selling row homes, selling condominiums, or selling commercial property. Your license will allow you to do each and every one of these. And every one of them is a specialty. Each one of them you can make a ton of money doing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to teach you that the average sales price in Philadelphia, not Pennsylvania, but Philadelphia, and we'll talk about that in school, the average sales price in Scranton, the average sales price in Pittsburgh, the average sales price in Philadelphia. But for right now, for this show, let's talk about the average sales price in Philadelphia. The average sales price in Philadelphia right now is currently $280,000. So as you can see, I used a $300,000 example for this example here. And I want to show you that we're going to have to learn how to negotiate our commission. There's no such thing, as you'll learn in my class, as a standard commission or going rate. That is an antitrust violation. So you're going to have to learn, and I'll teach you in my class, how to negotiate your commission with your broker and with your clients. And we'll talk about the difference between a client and a customer. Everybody's a customer, but the one who we have a contract with will be our client, and our client we owe fiduciary responsibilities to. And we'll talk about our fiduciary responsibilities in class as well. But let's take a look at some of the money we can make. Let's just say that it's a $300,000 property, and that's not a big property. We got properties going for $300,000 in Kensington, Huntington Valley, Bucks County, Doylestown. Those properties are four, five, six, $700,000 properties. So a $300,000 property is not a big property. And I would teach you to stay away from the $100,000 properties. It's not a lot of money to be made in the $100,000 properties, and they're more encumbersome. The deeds are not clear. The buyers are not good. And so I'll teach you that the $100,000 properties, the $200,000 properties, they're going to be more encumbersome. I want to teach you in my class to make the bigger money. Take a look at the commission that you can earn, ladies and gentlemen. 6% is a commission that most people are kind of acclimated to. You hear 6%, and everybody likes to negotiate from the 6%. 5%, 4%, so forth. So I like to use all these numbers to give you an example. Some good real estate agents can charge up to 8 to 10%. You can negotiate any commission that you can negotiate. And we'll talk about that in my class. Let's say that you do negotiate a 6% commission with the seller of any one of these properties that you see there. And the seller's asking $300,000 for the property. Ladies and gentlemen, that's an $18,000 commission. How many of these a year do you need to do to make you happy. And I'm also going to teach you in my class, ladies and gentlemen, not to quit your full-time job. You got a full-time job, you keep that full-time job because you got benefits with that full-time job. You got health insurance, you got medical, you got your social security, you got dental. So I'm going to teach you to start the real estate business on a part-time basis. Get that real estate license, become a weekend warrior. I got real estate agents that are making a good chunk of change just by doing open houses on Saturday and Sunday. But again, as I said, you could be full-time agent, part-time agent, weekend warrior. So if you're making $18,000 commission checks on a deal and you do 10 of these a year, that's $180,000, ladies and gentlemen, that you just made on top of your income. Let's just say that you only do 2 of these a deal. That's $36,000 that you just made. All right. Now we'll talk about dual agency. We'll talk about single agency. We'll talk about co-oping with other agents. All that we'll talk about in the class, not to mention your broker getting a breakdown. As I said, my broker doesn't get a breakdown because I'm 100% commission. And you could be 100% commission as well. We'll talk about that. But money's not the only object for a lot of real estate agents. Sometimes the chemistry between the broker, sometimes the ambiance of the office. So each of you will have different reasons. And some of you might not even go with brokers. You're going to do what I told you and go with a Fortune 500 company. Take that license to a Fortune 500 company and get a salary, benefits, and commission in that regards. Some of you might want to work with developers, as you can see, developing land, subdividers and developers. We'll talk about that in my class. Some of you will be in the condo market, especially if you are in vacation spots, the condo market, like the Florida market, big in condo sales. Some of you will be doing residential. Residential is very easy to do in Philadelphia. Municipal water, municipal sewer. So very, very easy to do Philadelphia single-family properties, where other states are a little bit more difficult. So again, we'll be talking about all these things. I wanted you to just get an idea of some of the money that you could make. $18,000 commission on one deal, a $300,000 deal. Let's just say that's the only thing that you do this year. If you get that $18,000 commission because you did one deal this year, is that not a good return when you're $429? I believe it is. And one deal a year, anybody can do one deal a year. That should fall in your lap, as a matter of fact. One deal a year should fall in your lap. We'll talk about that in the class. Referral. I referred somebody, I did a deal for somebody, and they referred somebody else to me. That commission just fell in my lap. So $20,000 a year should fall in your lap, for crying out loud. But most real estate agents, 80-20 rule. Let's talk about that real quick, ladies and gentlemen. 80% of the real estate agents are only doing 20% of the work. 20% of the real estate agents are doing 80% of the work. I want you to be a 20% agent where you're doing 80% of the commission, 80% of the volume. I don't want you to be the 80% agent where you're only doing 20%. Now, it depends. Some of you might only be getting into this to help family members, and you're not really looking to be into the real estate business to that level. That's fine. But those who are getting into this and would like to make 40, 60, $100,000 a year, then you're going to be doing more than one deal a year. And those agents, my guest speakers that I'm going to have you show, they're doing that, ladies and gentlemen. They're doing multiple deals per month. 3, 4, 5 deals a month, let alone 5 deals a year. So they're making a nice monthly income that compares to most yearly income, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm looking forward to having them as guest speakers. But remember, they started right where you are, ladies and gentlemen. Started right where you are with a desire, which direction to take. Now you know that you have a school that you can go to, a live streaming platform. That's the reason I do this live streaming platform. So you get to see me, ladies and gentlemen. You get to see me, hear me, understand the techniques that I'm going to be giving you. And so before you sign up blindly, I like to have these live streaming classes to introduce myself to you, to show you what you're going to be learning, to teach you some of the things that you're going to be learning in this live streaming free class so that it gives you a little bit more comfort, a little bit more knowledge and understanding about what you're getting in store for. So I would suggest, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever make an investment, you invest in yourself. Once you get a license, you are known as a licensed real estate professional. That is a high esteem in this market, to be known as a licensed professional. A doctor, a lawyer, a real estate agent, all have license for their particular industry by the state. To be known as a licensed professional, ladies and gentlemen, puts you in a high esteem. It's nice to talk about that you're a professional real estate agent licensed by the state to represent others in real estate matters. So I always look forward to that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I always like to give a shout out at this stage. I want to give a shout out to my producer, Vernon. Vernon's doing a great job of producing my show, ladies and gentlemen. And this is a real show. I have, as I said, makeup artists who had to spend a lot of time apparently with me today to make me look presentable for the public. So I didn't realize I was that hideous and needed that much time. So I want to thank my makeup artists. I want to thank Joji, who is my makeup artist. I want to thank Vernon, who is my producer. Vernon owns the company called the Gish Group, ladies and gentlemen. GISHGROUP, the Gish Group. And so, if you ever need a live streaming production produced, you're ever looking for a producer, you can contact Vernon at info@gishgroup.com. Info@gishgroup.com. And his services are always available. I love having a producer produce this show. I don't have to finish with everything, especially when I have guest speakers. My producer's moving everything around. So this show works out very, very well because of the team that I have. Also have a nice marketing staff behind us as well. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a real show, real production, real studio, real lights, real show. So this is not just a live streaming from my bedroom situation. This is a real show, and we're looking to add on to the show. As I said, starting on Monday, we'll have a chat session so that you can do chats. I won't be able to do it in the show and answer your questions, but after the show, I usually spend about an hour or so answering all the questions. Right now, I'm going to all the different formats like Facebook, Twitter. So we're going to try to make it easy so everybody has one platform to go to the chats, leave questions, ask anything that you want, and I'll be happy to get back to you after the show, answer all your questions. So it's a great show so far. This is our second show. We had a show on Tuesday and a show today on Thursday. But starting on the third, ladies and gentlemen, our show will be every Monday at 6 p.m. On your social media platforms. You will be getting notification of when the show is about to begin, and you will see, we hope that you friend me on our Facebook, Instagram, and so forth so that you can get these notifications. And as you can see, I'm still learning how to look at the camera. I'm so used to teaching a class and looking at my manual and other things that I forget that I have to keep looking at the camera. So I had a couple of production people behind me telling me to look at the camera. Little confusing there, but I have to get used to looking at the camera and looking at the clock, ladies and gentlemen, because our show ends at 7 o'clock on the nose. So, I want to introduce you again to the show. This is the real estate show. It is the live streaming real estate class. It is going to be on all the social media platforms Monday at 6 p.m. Tell your friends about the show. Please come in, learn about the show. Each week, I will have different topics of real estate that we'll talk about. Like today, we talked about the deed, the mortgage, deed, and title. We talked about the different types of title: general warranty deed, special warranty deed, bargain and sale deed, quit claim deed. We talked about the different forms of unilateral contracts like the deed, rent to buy, lease to purchase, first right of refusal. We talked about auctions, foreclosure auctions, tax sale auctions. We'll talk about these in more detail. And we talked about residual income. I talked about how you can live rent free. We'll go into great detail in my classroom, ladies and gentlemen, on how to buy that first duplex. As a matter of fact, I have a real estate agent that's on Justin's team that I'll talk to him. He did just that, ladies and gentlemen. Bought a duplex, is living rent free, and on his Facebook, he's showing the renovation that they're doing in his new purchase. So, what I'm going to be introducing you to is success stories of people who are sitting right where you are, ladies and gentlemen, with an idea, with a desire. 6 weeks later, they had a real estate license, and within the first 2 years, they were making great income. So, this is what I'm looking forward for you as well. Please consider investing in yourself. I am the least expensive real estate school, and when you sign up for my school, you are signing up for your golden ticket, ladies and gentlemen. Once you have this golden ticket, you have a ticket to ride. You should never be broke. You should never be unemployed again. Where do you see all the job offers, by the way, that you're going to get? Once you pass the real estate exam, ladies and gentlemen, work will be coming to you. Offers will be coming to you. You won't be looking for work anymore. It won't happen that way. Work will come to you. You should see the offers that I still receive. I don't travel as much as I do, but I'm getting Fortune 500 companies sending me, asking me to work for them because I have the commodity, the real estate license. Once you have that real estate license, ladies and gentlemen, you have the commodity. You have the golden ticket, the ticket to ride, and you won't be looking for work anymore. Work will come to you. Wait do you see the work that's going to come to you the minute you pass that state exam. And I'll show you how to do your application. I'll show you how to do your transcripts. I'll show you how to do everything. And I'm always there for you, even after class, ladies and gentlemen, as you'll see by my reviews. When I teach you how to run a real estate business, I'm going to teach you the importance of reviews for your business, and I'm going to show you how important it is by leaving reviews. Where do you see the algorithms that are going to be created by your reviews? That is the word. Look, you probably read reviews today before you buy something, before you jump into something. You don't do it without reading the reviews. The reviews are the lifeblood today. And we'll talk about the different markets, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a baby boomer. Generation X, Generation Y, the millennial generation. Right now, we are in the millennial generation. Each generation will be handled differently. Baby boomers, 55 and over community, 62 and over community, ka-ching, ka-ching, a lot of money right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's a good market. Generation X, Generation Y, 2 recessions in that generation, and the millennial generation. So many of you will be dealing with millennials and Generation Y starting out your business. And some of us deal with the baby boomers, Generation X, in our business. So it depends on what avenue you want to take. We'll talk about that in my class. We'll get you to be not a jack of all trades, but a master of one. So we'll teach you how to focus. A light bulb is a light bulb, but when you focus that light, it becomes a laser. And that's what I'm going to teach you, how to laser your work, your efforts into being very successful. And I'm looking forward to meeting you in my class, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking forward to seeing you in my class. I'm looking forward to making you a licensed real estate professional. And I'm looking forward to changing your lifestyle. If you have the ability to take that leap of faith and make this investment in yourself, you will not regret your decision. As you can see by my reviews, you will also be referring others. You'll be amazed at the things that you're going to learn in my school. And it's time to pay it forward. That's where I am right now, ladies and gentlemen. 30 years in this business. I am now taking all that experience and I'm paying it forward. And when I'm not teaching pre-license, I'm teaching real estate education and contract law when I teach real estate agents. So I got 30 years of experience, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, my name is Warren Nelson. Probably failed to mention that in the beginning, but that's okay. It's the second show, Learning as I Go. My name is Warren Nelson. I own Online Real Estate School Incorporated.com, Online Real Estate School Inc.com. I'm looking forward to seeing you in my class. I'm looking forward to making you a licensed real estate professional this year. And I'm looking forward to changing your lifestyle and giving you great education. So I hope this was motivational for you. I hope this program was informative. I hope it was entertaining, and I hope it was enlightening for you. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, my producer is the Gish Group. Gish Group, info at gishgroup.com. Joji is my makeup artist, and apparently she has spent a lot of time with me today, so I apologize for all the effort she has put into it. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody again on Monday the 3rd at 6 p.m., which will be our next show, ladies and gentlemen. So, again, thank you very much for joining our show. I hope it was entertaining and educational. Be safe, be healthy, be happy, and enjoy your evening, ladies and gentlemen.